hour out of your really busy day to join us for Power Lunch. We have a great speaker joining us today. Just about an hour ago, I got an email from our friend, Dr. Verna. My sister Lori, who owns Office Centers, her and I met Dr. Verna a few years ago at a women in networking function. And of course, if anyone's seen Dr. Verna speak, she's a dynamic speaker, and she has so many good messages to share that Lori and I were both moved by the things that she spoke about, and prompted us to be great supporters of Girls in Action, which is a nonprofit that Dr. Verna founded in 2005. To date, right now, Girls in Action helps over 3,000 girls, 4,000 girls, not only in Minnesota, but worldwide, Guatemala and Kenya, and they're also going to be opening up a chapter in Atlanta. So Dr. Verna was emailed me this morning and had a last minute engagement with her family. And so she sent somebody to sub for her to speak today. And we are thrilled to be able to offer you the speaking of Miss Natalie Johnson-Lee, and she's the Vice President of Girls in Action. She's also their Chief Action Taker. And you will know exactly why she has this title in just a minute when you see her speak. In Dr. Verna's book, she talks about people who are adders and multipliers. Miss Natalie, you are definitely an adder and a multiplier in everybody's book. And we are so pleased to welcome you to Office Centers today. She's going to be speaking about how mentoring youth can benefit your business. I'm going to turn the floor over to you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. So this is always exciting when they go, oh, Dr. Verna, she's such a dynamic speaker, and here's Natalie. So that's okay. You know what? I've been doing this for a long time. I actually started out with Dr. Verna in the very beginning with Girls in Action, and I have been everything from the go snatch the girl mentor, or get the room prepared, get it cleaned up, to training all of our women leaders, as well as traveling across the country to make sure people understand and know about Girls in Action. So I'm here. I'm delighted to be here, and I'm so awesome that you have me here. So let me just tell you a couple of things about me. One, I love mentoring. Okay. Now, I have to be quite honest with you. I did not get into mentoring. It wasn't some noble cause how I started mentoring. So I'm going to tell you my story. And the reason why I say that is because some people go, oh, like mentoring, like, well, I don't have a passion for like kids or youth or something like that. And I can do something with them. I don't have a passion for it. So I'll tell you how I got into mentoring, specifically mentoring girls. Okay. I raised boys. I have a stepdaughter, but I didn't necessarily raise her. And so I moved into a new community, and my boys were there, and I'm thinking, and I went outside one time to play with them, and I'm looking around, and I'm thinking, they cannot date these girls. That is not an option. I have got to get in motion. And so I started my own girl mentoring group because I had to prepare the dating scene for my son. That totally selfish mom, making sure that she had a cool daughter-in-law, right? That was the total reason why I got into mentoring. So I wanted to be honest, because that's how I started. But let me just tell you, I will say this. Now, all of those girls that I mentored are now like sisters to my sons. They didn't date any of them, but they're like sisters. They're great friends. But they did, they did learn lessons, because my sons would peep in and listen to like the things I was teaching the girls, and so they got some skills. So they learned some stuff. So it did benefit me. But just the girls that I prepared, they didn't date. Anyway, so So let me just tell you why I love mentoring. One, the obvious reason for me, it keeps me relevant and it keeps me young. Many times we get caught in our day-to-day, but when I work with young people, it keeps me relevant, it keeps me young, it keeps me not only aware of the current events that I know about, but it keeps me aware of how they're thinking and how they see the world. So it gives me the opportunity to see the world through a different lens. That's one. Two, the other thing that I love about mentoring is I see the growth in the young women. And so just so you'll know, Girls in Action now, we also have a program called Boys of Hope. So we do also mentor young men as well. But I'm specifically talking about, I'll specifically handle in mentoring in just a minute. And then the other thing that I like about mentoring is it prepares young people for the future. It gives them exposure to different things. Now, how can mentoring prepare your business and how can it be a benefit to your business? One, what it does is a lot of young people and a lot of people now that are coming into businesses are now saying, you know what, I want to be attached or connected to somebody that's doing something around the social good. What are you doing to give back? What is your organization or your company doing to give back in how we're making money, but how are we giving back? So that's one thing, giving back. Two, you're preparing the next workforce. Through mentoring, you can tailor make your workforce. And people say, well, how do you do that? One, you are exposing young people to opportunities and ideas and concepts that they may not know through your organization or your company mentoring. So in Girls in Action, right now we're in about 17 schools in just Minneapolis, all right? And one particular part of that particular time is we have a leadership series. And in that leadership series, we have businesses and business people come in and talk to our young women and our young men about what they do and how they do it. We also have opportunities for businesses and organizations to come in and be partners with us. So let's say, for instance, you say, you know what, I really want to partner with your organization, or I want to do something with your organization. You can say, you know what, I want to work with middle school, or I want to work with high school. And so you come in and we connect you up with a group of young girls and your staff, and we connect you with that group, and you can say, okay, I want to come in once a month, or I want to come in once every 2 months. Now we prefer you to come in once a month, but we want to partner so the young people get a chance to see you on a consistent basis. So they come in, you work with them, and we work with you to work with them and kind of, because sometimes people come in and they go, I don't know what to say to kids. I'm like, just talk to them. just talk to them. First of all, just ask them, how do you like school? You may get a variety of answers. And one of them might be, I like it. Or you may say, I like it because I like the food. My friends are here, but you find different things. The other thing is, then they begin to start asking you about you. Like, what do you do? Like, why are you here? Why do you show up every day? You understand what I'm saying? But then the other thing that happens is then you begin to expose them to your career. So I know we're simulcasting, but I'm going to give participation, okay? Y'all to participate? Okay, good. So tell me your name. Umar. So tell me what kind of business you do.
I'm a staffing manager for our hospitality.
Oh, so you really need good employees and stuff like that. You need future employees.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let me just ask you this right now. So when people come right now, and you are recruiting, what are some of the things that you see?
That I see.
Yeah, from like when you look at some of the people that come in and they say, I'm interested in a job, what are some things that you either see or you don't see? Maybe that's what I should ask. Go ahead, yes.
Well, there's a variety of candidates that come in.
Okay.
And some are well prepared. They have a resume. They're dressed really well. They have a good vernacular. Able to speak well. And some are kind of middle ground. And
Right.
some come in like they're ready for the club, or they're about to hang out with their friends and whatnot. It's like, you have to be able to discern, even regardless of how they're dressed or how they speak, what kind of value they're willing to give to you.
Right, as they come to the door,
Right,
and how they
exactly.
present themselves.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. So one of the things that happens with mentorship is if I see you day to day, what's going to happen is whether I know it or not, I'm going to begin to start maybe emulating or getting curious about, this is how you show up, or this is my mentor, and this is what he does, and this is what she does, and this is what they tell me, and this is what they talk about, and this is what they've shown me. Do you understand what I'm saying? And one of the things about mentorship is it increases graduation rates in young kids, and it also increases their opportunity or even their thought pattern about going toward post-secondary education. So I'll give you another example. I'm gonna take one of my young girls that I've worked with for quite a long time. So I'll change her name to protect the innocent. Anyway, so we'll just call her Shelly. So met Shelly in 9th grade. All right, Shelly was like a spitfire, just like Shelly, Shelly. You know, and that's all I would say during group. Shelly. You know, but Shelly had a voice. And Shelly had big personality. And Shelly didn't know if she had a vision or not, but she had something. She wanted to do something. She didn't know what she wanted to do. All right. And so, and Shelly got kicked out of my group multiple times because I kept tired of saying Shelly. Okay. So then finally, I had a group of about 35 girls. So finally, I said, you know what? I worked with all the girls. Me and Shelly, I said, Shelly, me and you, we're going to work this out. So anyway, so Shelly's in the 9th grade. So let me give you a little background about Shelly. Shelly's mother died early when she was, I believe, middle school, between elementary and middle school, mother died. Father in jail, and got put on to her aunt. Okay, and I say put on, not that her aunt didn't want to take care of her, but it's kind of got put on to her aunt. And in that space, consistently trying to find, you know, like, where's my voice? And so wherever she had a space that would listen, her voice rang out. So I took Shelly and I said, okay, Shelly, I'm gonna walk you through this, right? So Shelly went from, you know, she was a good student, but a lack of focus. So through our consistent mentoring of Shelly, or my consistent mentoring of Shelly, she also attended our Girls in Action group. Shelly began to get focused. Shelly now is ready to go to college, but has there's nobody to kind of help get her there, help guide her there. So we get Shelly to college, all right? When I say get Shelly to college, I mean pick Shelly up, put Shelly in the car, pick stuff up, put it in the car, drive Shelly to college, okay? Shelly's in college, but now Shelly is not understanding how do you navigate this thing, okay? So now calls mentor. I don't know how to do this. Help me do this. So we get her through this, but there's many times through this process that Shelly wants to quit because this is Shelly's first time in college. She would be a first generation college student. Shelly wants to quit, all right? But Shelly has somebody that she can call who can navigate Shelly through the process, all right? Now Shelly's second year. Shelly decides, I want to do something new. So she doesn't want to, I don't know, have any of you heard of study in abroad? Okay, you've heard of study abroad, right? But that's where you go out of the country, but they have programs now where you can study in abroad. And so Shelly, I will say, is an African-American young girl. She was going to school in Minnesota. She wanted to get an experience at an HBCU. So for those of you that don't know what an HBCU is, it's a historically Black college or university, all right? I saw it on TV the other day. Somebody said HBCU, and they're like, I don't know, where's that at? And so I just want to make sure I explain that. HBCUs are the historically Black college or university. So she decides she wants to go to one in Alabama. So because of how we worked with Shelly and how Shelly has had, you know, somebody in her life, Shelly fills out all the paperwork, gets accepted, and says, okay, let's go to Alabama. I said, let's who go to Alabama? She said, I got accepted to go to Alabama and study in abroad for a year, but now I just need to get there. Okay. You're going to take me. Oh, I'm going to take you. Yes. And so, but she had it all planned out because what happens is we had formed this relationship. Okay. And what she knew, and then this is what she said. She said, if you don't take me, I know you'll help figure out a way to help me get there because I'm taking action and I'm moving forward and I know that's what you're about. And so I know what you'll do. You'll make sure it happens. And not from a perspective of you must do this, but because of how we have built that relationship and we know she knows that we want her to succeed or I want her to succeed, that she's going to go. Okay, now I'm going somewhere with this. So Shelly goes to Alabama. We drive Shelly to Alabama. I drive Shelly to Alabama. And she finishes her year. She comes back. I go pick Shelly up, bring her back. All right. Now, this same young girl with mega personality, mega voice, is now streamlined focused. She will be graduating this year with her major, and she's going back into early child care and psychology because now she wants to make a difference where a difference was made for her. Okay. Now in this process though, Shelly now has then begun to mentor other young people and begin to say, you need to get a mentor, and not only connecting them with people that she knows, but saying, here, go to business A, and this is what you say to them. Okay. Now our hope is that business A will respond to whomever she's sending there, but if they don't understand mentoring, they may not. Now, so what we've done with Shelly is we've taken someone who probably, if she would not have had direction and focus and someone to guide her in that direction and focus, would not be graduating from college, would not be getting a very good job. People are already recruiting her, would not be getting a very good job, would not be beginning to be what we consider a productive citizen in society, but also she's learning how to give back. So now she's giving back from what she's done. So as you look at your organizations and you look at your businesses, begin to think about special ways that you can bring a young person in, or you can go out to a young person and mentor. My goal, because I'm a mentor extraordinaire. I will tell you that right now. If you talk to me, I will have you with a child like this, a youth. It doesn't matter. Even if you say, I don't know what to do, I will help you. We will get it done. I believe that every person should have a young person somewhere in their sphere of influence that's guiding them on their path and in their direction. Because what's happening is, how many of you would love it if you had worked with a group of young people and they graduate from college and they come back and say, hey, I'm prepared to come and work in your job. And they already know, so I bring them right back to you. You've mentored them. They come, they're dressed, they got the resume, they know everything that you need them to know to send them to the next place. How much more refreshing would that be? And how much more would it make your job easier? Anybody else in here, if you sat here and you actually worked with a group of students over a period of time and they came back in, how much would that affect your bottom line? Because you have someone that knows your industry, you have someone who you know, you have someone who more than likely is going to stay with you longer than 2 or 3 months. They're going to stay with you for the long haul. So that's going to cut your retention costs. As far as it's retaining employees. So as you look at the power of mentoring, the other thing that I would say that's also good is that it's a by learning, is a by educational experience. So as you work with a young person, you're learning as well as that young person is learning. All right. So anybody in here right now have anybody that they mentor?
Unofficially.
You know what? I got worked up. You said unofficially. Okay, tell me when you say unofficially, what does that mean?
I didn't set out to do it, and she doesn't call it that, but she just kind of wants to learn about my business, and now we're kind of we might collaborate on some events. So
Okay.
I've learned it's not just about give, but to allow them to do something, like
Right.
maybe invite their friends or something like that, and then that makes them feel good too.
Right.
So that's why I say unofficial. It's just kind of something that's
It's organic.
yeah.
Okay. So did she seek you out, or she sought you out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yes.
I'm working with a group of students
Mhm.
from the University of Minnesota
Okay.
through the Office of Technology and Commercialization, and they're PhD engineering students that
Okay.
have created a new discovery in power switches.
Okay.
And so, being engineering and my background in business, business development, and then being much older than they, and being around more experienced, I've noticed how the relationship has turned into, what you're saying, by education. Because I'm learning from them, they're learning from me, and it seems to be working really well. But it's a different kind of mentoring.
Okay. So now that yes, you're mentoring someone right now.
Yeah, we are not to the extent that you are. I
Okay.
have not driven them to Alabama.
No, that's okay.
But you would very much. Okay.
It may be coming. You may
Yeah, I have been working with a group of these are junior high students.
Okay.
A school in South Minneapolis.
Okay,
They come primarily from Hispanic families.
right.
And the program is set up in which we use our companies as a sample to show them, how to do things, and we cover all kinds of different things.
Right.
From presentation, from human personal relationship, from innovation, from all kinds of different things. So I have been doing that for a few years.
So have you seen have you had some students that have repeated?
Uh,
Or is it just like one
we
student?
do it, we take a group of students for a couple of years.
Okay.
So,
And so have you seen the difference after the second year?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and so you're exposing them to different opportunities. So let me just say this to you. So a lot of some of the students that we live in, that we work with, they're from communities that where they don't see a lot of businesses. So let me give you an example. So if I can sit down with a group of students and they may say to me, I may say, what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to be? And they may say, I want to be a beautician. Or I want to be a barber, or we didn't know it. I want to be a basketball. Well, it used to be basketball player, it used to be football player. Still is kind of right now. I want to be a rapper. Why do you think that is?
That's what they see.
That's what they see. That's what they see. That's what they hear. And in many cases, what you'll find is that their role models and their mentors become things that they see on TV or things that they see. So that's why mentoring is very intentional. And the other thing that mentoring does too for you and for your company is it also helps your employees become better coaches, they become better leaders, and they become more inclusive in how they look at the world and how they think about future options and future ideas. So I heard the story the other day, and I'll just say this will date this a little bit. But I saw it was a young girl, and I was asking her. She became an attorney, and I said, "Well, why did you become an attorney?" And she said, "Because when I was growing up, the only person that I saw that looked like me that I could emulate was Claire Huxtable. And she was an attorney, and that's what I wanted to be, and that's who I saw. That's who I saw every day. And on Thursday nights, I would sit down and I would be glued to that TV, and I'm like, that's the lifestyle I want. That's what I want to look like. That's what I want to have my suit, and I want to have my briefcase." And she seemed to have it all. She had the briefcase, she had the suit, she had the great family, and that's what I wanted. She said, I became an attorney. And she said, and then after I became an attorney, I hated it. And she said, this is what she said. She said, I love the law. I did not like the practice of the law. So she shifted her challenge. But how much more powerful it would have been if she would have had someone that could have helped guide her and begin to talk to her about, okay, you like being an attorney. What do you like being about an attorney? And even taking her maybe to some offices where attorneys practice. And maybe she could have picked a different study of law to go into, but she didn't know any of those things. So what happens is whenever you invest time in a child and in a young person, you are investing not only in the future of your organization or your business, but you're also investing in the community and in our world. Because what happens is they begin to see, I have options, I have choices. So I'll give you an example, another example with our Boys of Hope group. We had partnered with a corporation. The corporation came in, and we had a day where they spent time with them. However, all the men took the young men and just taught them how to tie a tie. None of them knew how to tie a tie. And so they bought them all dress shirts. This particular group had them, they got them dress shirts, they got them ties, and they taught them how to tie the ties. And this is an interesting thing. If you ever see a young person who's never had a tie or a dress shirt on, and then you put it on, their whole countenance changed. They stood up straight. They had different smiles. They felt important because they looked important. However, that wouldn't have happened had somebody not said, you know what, let's do this. And the mentors would get together. So you can group mentor or you can individual mentor. And so these are some of the things that we see as we work with our young people, as we move, as we're moving forward, educational choices. So for instance, what company do you work for? Or what do you do? Tell me what's your name.
I'm an attorney with Hunter Mark.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so tell me what kind of law do you practice?
I do mostly consumer protection.
You do with consumer protection. Now let me just tell you this. If I went in there, and I can guarantee you, many of our young people would have no clue that that was an option that they had. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Consumer protection. So do you like what you do?
I do.
Okay, because it serves the common good, right? All right. So do you?
I am not mentoring.
Okay, make sure I get your name because I got somebody for you to say. Okay, so it's awesome. Yeah.
Yes, we are covered.
Yeah.
Even dress alike.
Yeah. So, okay. And so, what do you do?
I'm an attorney.
You're an attorney also? Okay. All right. So, and you do the same thing or you practice?
No,
Okay.
I practice in family law.
You practice in family law. Okay. And so, and you're not mentoring on that either?
I'm not.
Okay, that's okay. It's not
I'm
nothing.
the Girl Scout troop.
Well, that's good. That's kind of good. Yeah. But you do Girl Scout stuff. Did you teach them about your career?
No, they're 5 and 6 years old.
It's not now.
You can start now. Okay. So Tina,
We took them to see a judge. We did do that.
you did take them to see a judge. Okay. All right. And how did that respond? Did they know what the judge was? Did you explain to them what?
Oh, she explained it. They loved it.
Okay. And they loved
They
it.
loved
Okay. Now let me ask you this. This is really interesting. So you took them to see a judge. Could you see like light bulbs going off in there? Like when you looked at them and they were talking about it, did they?
They definitely knew she had some power,
Okay.
and they liked that.
Okay.
They we were in the big courtroom and they saw all of the opportunities they might have.
Okay. Now this is interesting. So you said they're 5 and 6 years old, right? It would be interesting to see about 5 to 10 years from now what they want to do. I'm gonna tell you the power of mentoring is so important and so powerful. I would love to come and talk to you in about 5 to 10 years to find that out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, to find out where they are and what they want to do, because it's the consistent connection with a young person. So let me tell you what else mentoring can do for your business. I pretty much told you most of them. To prepare your new workforce. You also can. I'm gonna go back to you, the unintentional mentor. How about that? What has it done to you? What has it done for you as you work with that young person?
Well, I kind of touched on it before, but I think, I thought mentoring is all about give, help, on my side. But then when I kind of allowed her to help me a little bit, to say, I'm going to introduce you to some of my friends who might want to know, then I saw that it kind of built her self-esteem and she got excited because she wants to be in communications. And she said, this might help me figure out what I want to do. So then I thought, if you can be open like that and allow them to feel that mutuality a little bit instead of just letting that person give to you, I think that's really was a light bulb for me.
Oh, so thank you. You know what? That's probably a light bulb for more than just you. So a lot of times what happens is mentor. So first of all, it's not creating a mini you. Okay? It's not recreating yourself. What it is a young person to a path or a career or options and opportunities that they may have never thought of. So this is the deal. And in a way that you help build, develop, and grow their own individuality and personal vision. Does that make sense? So it's more about giving them opportunities and guidance and sometimes structure, because sometimes what's going to happen is you're going to be mentoring people who have never been mentored before. They don't know that. I can guarantee you, if you start looking at some of your applicants or people to come in to interview with you or come in to apply for business with you, start asking them, did you have a mentor? Let that be one of your interview questions. Did you have a mentor? You'll be able to tell the difference between those that had someone walk them through and guide them through, and those that did. Now, some of them may just had strong family relationships. One of the challenges that we have with our girls when they come home from summer internships is that many of their families don't have those level of connections. So they may come back and they want to practice, or they want to do internships in their career of study or in their choice of study. And what happens is because their parents or their family members, or they don't have the connections, they can't get some of the internships that maybe some of their other colleagues. So in that space, what happens with them is they don't get the development the opportunity to develop in those cultures and in those environments. So then when they come out, they don't really understand how this thing works. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I've gone to school, I've learned, but I didn't really have a mentor. I didn't really have an option. So I'm here. And so some of you may experience that when you've hired people and you're like, where'd you come from? Like you graduated, got great grades, but you don't even know how to operate in a work environment. Has anybody experienced that? Anybody know? So you great grades, look really good on paper, but when you get them into the work environment, they don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. They don't know. They don't kind of know what to do. And then what's happening is you spend a lot. Well, they don't show. There you go. You said they don't show up. They don't show up. That's part. And all that. A lot of that can happen in your mentor. If we're looking for our education systems to train our young people to be excellent workers, not just workers, but even entrepreneur, even to think like an entrepreneur. Because I tell people all the time, sometimes entrepreneurs can be some of the best workers because they work with the intent that they understand the business. Sometimes they work with the intent to start their own business, but we would hope they would work with the intent to start a business. But what happens is they don't train and teach our young people what it means to work in that environment. But what happens is when you have someone that has a mentor, what happens is you begin to show them that. You show them how to get up in the morning, or how to prepare for the day's work, or how to show up and stay consistent and connected. And you do that through mentorship. So that begins to also impact, your business. I tell people all the time, if you want to see and you want to have a great workforce, start with mentoring a young person or a group of young people. I like what your company's doing. Have you got to the point where any of those individuals are hired yet?
No, they are not. Actually, the main thing is the program is set up to help them to go to college.
Okay.
Well, actually, they go to senior high school and then go to college.
Okay. So are any of them have you been doing it long enough to see anybody go to college yet? Or
you know what? It's kind of interesting because once they are gone, we don't have a chance to see them, and I have seen some of them a few years after.
Okay.
And you can see the difference.
You can see the
You can
difference.
see the difference that might be age, might be I don't know what, but yeah.
Okay, awesome. It would be, yes, ma'am.
I was just gonna mention that I'm working with the Minnesota Character Council in trying to bring character development to schools, high schools, character education, character best practices. And what I really am connecting with that I really like is one of the suggestions was, the seniors mentoring the freshmen, right? Because of the closeness of that relationship. And I'm starting to see, and I really appreciate what you're saying, Miss Natalie, because it's really making a connection and how some of the things that you're saying is connecting into some of the projects that I'm working on.
Great. The other thing that we also do too is once you see the mentors like that, we also have the 8th graders mentor the 6th graders. The seniors mentor the 9th graders. And sometimes we have the 9th graders go in and speak to the junior high to get them prepared to come into schools and things like that. And also then we also have college tours. So we take our young people to the college and get a feel for this is what college looks like. This is what college feels like. We have corporate partners. We go into corporations in businesses and say, hey, this is what the business environment looks like. Now that's just maybe once, twice a year for a group of students, but it's different when they have someone who is walking alongside of them. So tell me your name.
Gigi.
Hey, Gigi. So Gigi, what do you do?
Oh, I'm a mortgage loan officer.
Okay,
And
okay,
I
okay,
originate loans for many immigrants and people
Okay.
of color as well.
okay, all right, so you help people be able to get a house.
Yes.
Now, have you ever thought about mentoring a young person to teach them how to do that?
Actually, I started mentoring when I was in late teens.
Ah, okay,
And I was at church as a youth counselor. So
Okay.
my group of youth would be age 13 to 16.
Okay.
I was 19.
okay,
And I still keep in touch with them today.
okay,
And I actually refer at least 2 employees to my brother who is running business in Hong Kong and Shenzhen.
okay,
That I was in Hong Kong and mentored these
Okay.
youth. So
Okay.
I think, part of that is that I know their characters. I know they're hardworking, they're honest.
right,
Since young that I coached them.
okay,
And I was an example, and one of the youth became quite a famous missionary in Burma.
oh,
So a
wow,
lot
okay.
of those things I feel very fruitful. And after I came to America and finished college and started working, I participated in a mentoring program. Let's say at that time the kids were in public school in St. Paul.
Mhm.
I as an Asian woman at work, so I went to public school to coach the Hmong
Youth,
youth
Uh-huh.
girls, especially that some of at that time, like 20 years ago, they were starting marrying off and drop out from school when they were 14 or 15 when they start getting married.
Mhm.
So I told them there's options in life. You can still fall in love, but you can still like finish school first and I told them that my sister-in-law, got married with my brother who has this kind of credential and this kind of career development when they were in the early 30s, and it's not too late, and you can get master's degree in college and all these stories. So I told them options. And now they actually, when I go out, because as a mortgage loan officer is a heavy duty sales element in my job.
Right.
So I mingle with some other Asian professional and some networking groups and all this. And in fact, I serve in the board of director of an Asian professional group for at least 3 years. So some of those things I saw some other fellow board members and some of the networking members. They are still single and they are like in the late 20s and they finish their college education and started their career and all these things. So I feel pretty good.
You feel like you made an impact. All right, okay. So I have another question. How many of you in here had a mentor? How many of you in here had a mentor? You had a mentor?
I had met mentors.
Mentor? What's that mean?
I think I grew up, so I'm 27, and
Okay.
so I'm not too far away from having mentors.
Right.
I have a lot of people that have done the, not official mentors. So
Got you.
it's just been people in places of leadership above me that have been willing and open to spend a few extra minutes in pouring some sort of knowledge, time, effort into me, but no one that's been defined, you are a mentor.
Okay.
So it's not been as formal of a relationship as maybe you would normally want, but I have had people informally pour into me.
Okay. And has it made a difference?
It's hard to know because I don't know the opposite.
Okay. So you don't know not having access to people who can pour into you.
Yeah.
So therefore it's part of your lifestyle.
Exactly. But
Awesome.
I resonate well with what you said. It's I had peers growing up. So I'm from Atlanta, where you guys are about to expand.
We're already there, but go ahead.
I have peers in Atlanta that didn't have access to the spectrum of people. So I went to a very vibrant church, and so I knew community leaders in any industry that I wanted.
Okay.
So from blue collar construction all the way up to CEOs of major real estate firms. all went to the same church. And
Right.
so anything, Claire Huxtable was not my only
Exactly.
option.
You
I
had
could see literally anything I
everybody.
wanted to do
Right.
and got to choose based on that.
Okay.
We went and worked in one of the inner city areas of Atlanta as a church event.
Okay.
And we asked a 5-year-old what he wanted to be when he grew up. And his answer was that he wanted to be a thug.
No, that's very real. Yeah.
Because they were the only people that had money and power in the neighborhood. That was his only option of what he saw as a viable career path. And this is a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Like 5-year-olds should be playing with
5-year-olds.
toys.
So now see, look at the difference. One 5-year-old wants to be a thug because that's all they see. We just had 5 and 6-year-olds exposed to a judge. See the difference?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So the power of access, the power of opportunity. And then, so I'm pretty sure, so are you a business owner?
I am not.
Yeah, but so you're an employee?
I am.
Are you his employee? Are you
I am not.
I wouldn't hire
But you're a great employee, right?
My boss is in Atlanta, yes.
Yeah, but you're a great employee, right?
I like to think so.
Well, you know so. You probably wouldn't be here if you weren't. All right. So, but what I'm saying, because you have that access, then you got to choose. You got to say, okay, if I want to do this, I can go talk to this one. If I want to do this, I can go talk to this one. So are you starting to get the picture of the power of mentoring?
Absolutely.
Okay, you guys are not convinced.
I've never gotten-
Okay.
I've never gotten a job from a cold call or a Indeed posting or LinkedIn posting. I've only ever gotten jobs
Through
from
relationships.
my relationships.
Right. Right.
Period.
And that's also the power of mentoring. It teaches young people how to develop and form relationships. How many of you work with people right now that you wish they knew how to form and develop relationships? It would make your job so much more easier, wouldn't it? It would make your work environment so much more easier. So who else said that they had a mentor in here? I have a bunch of hands kind of going. Go ahead. You had a mentor? You had a mentor. Tell me about your mentor.
Well, it's pretty similar to my friend back there. You know, was around a lot of people that just wanted to pour into my life. They seen the full potential that maybe I was a little naive to see. I'm just turned 26 last month, so still growing and stuff.
That's okay.
So I got into the events and marketing, entertainment marketing field, just doing a lot of interning and things like that. And a really close friend that owns several nightclubs downtown Minneapolis, very known, top of the food chain, I should say.
Right.
He in particularly was just like, you know, hey, I have some feedback that I want to give to you. We just had lunch and we talked about a lot of things, and I don't know, the relationship just kind of built from there.
Right.
And he just took it upon himself, you know, every day to really check in on me, throw opportunities into my way. I got into wedding planning because of him. Planned a lot of nice weddings, good people, and he just really just helped me. And he's a known person, so it's really nice to just have that hope.
That's the power of mentor, even though it's that, and sometimes it's not, you may not formally call it, that was a mentorship, because what happens is I see something in you, and I've taken my time and I'm going to invest time in you, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a week, phone call, sat down, have lunch, let's have lunch once a month. And then what happens is it is probably catapulted you into a space that you didn't even think that was possible. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
When
yeah.
I did my first wedding, I didn't think, weddings are not easy.
Yes.
People look at the picture like, oh my God, yeah, okay.
But it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It takes a certain person, but needless to say, everything that we bounce off of, all that preparation that he did put into my life, made me be a rock star the day of the wedding. Because I was the wedding coordinator that day to make sure everything was going right. And I just, after the 14-hour day, I just remember sitting in my car like, I did that. You know, that's crazy. I actually did that. And, you know, the times I wanted to give up, I just remember the stuff that he would tell me, just his voice in the back of my head, you can do it, you have to do it. So, yeah.
How many of you that did have mentors can hear your mentor sometime talking to you when you're doing something, or something that they say, see, and you just hear them, they pop up in your mind, and they keep you on the trajectory of going. So, any questions about mentoring? If anybody have any kind of trepidation about I don't know. Anybody know? Everybody's cool with mentoring? Anybody know how to pick them, how to choose a mentee? Any questions? Any questions? Okay.
How do you do
How
it?
do you
And
do it?
how
Okay.
do you get involved in Girls in Action?
Oh, you look! I like you. You just ask the questions. Okay, so and it's very easy. It's very easy. One, I'll make sure you have one of my business cards, or I'll even take your name and your number. And we bring you in. We bring you in, and we work with you, and we connect you with the girls, and we have women leaders. And so, for instance, you may even go in there and say, you know what, I have a specific skill set, or I have a specific knack. Do you have anybody that's interested in, wanting to do this, or do you have anybody that just needs a little extra attention, or somebody that just needs somebody to walk along with them, and we can help you connect up with that. That's not a problem. Men, we got plenty of young men for you to come and talk to, as well with our Boys of Hope initiative. We meet with the girls. We are all over the Twin Cities, so it wouldn't be a problem in getting to a girl, but it also wouldn't be a problem in getting a girl to you. But we always say come into the school so you can kind of get an idea of kind of what their environment is like in school, and then you can go. Then we can have you come. They can come to your different businesses and things like that. Going back to something somebody said earlier about being a mentor, it's give and give and give. I tell you, if you go into a mentorship relationship with understanding that it's a mutual relationship, and like I said, it's by education, you both are going to learn in the process. I learn as much from my young girls as they do from me. And so, and the fruit that I can see, there's a local restaurant where I go, and about 5 organization that they're doing some really unique things with young people. And when I go in there, like almost all the young girls that are in there have gone through my program. Mm-hmm. And they've met me. So I walk in there and they're like, hey, so I'm sitting there, so I feel like a rock star in the restaurant. And everybody's coming out, this dad is in the building. They come out and they hug me. Or, and the thing about it is now we've been doing this for 13 years. And so the thing that's so powerful is we go to different places and we see young ladies working and they're doing their job, and we say, yeah, I was in Girls in Action, or yes, I was in Girls in Action, or yeah, I was in your group, or yeah, I was in Mrs. Such and Such's group, or yeah, then they call Dr. Rosette, well, how's the lady with the squiggly hair, Dr. Vernon? They call the lady with the squiggly hair. Anyway, but we can see the impact. We can see the impact of the work that we've done and of the work that we continue to do. And so our girls are ready and willing to go and able to do what we send them to do. But the power of mentoring, I can't express to you. If you've had a mentor or if you've had opportunities to be mentored by a group of people, it makes a difference in the character. Like going back to what you said, the character. And that's what we're looking for now. We're looking for people who come into our workplaces that have character, that they can show up on time, they can carry out an assignment, they can be trusted with whatever it is that you've given them to do. You can leave them and come back, and your business will not be totally destroyed or wrecked. They know how to represent well, and they want to learn and they want to grow with you. And I will tell you, that is a powerful young person. That's a powerful opportunity to mentor and to pour into the life of a young person. So I don't have any much more. You want me to keep going? I can talk about a whole lot of extra stuff. But anyway, yeah. Oh, you have a question? Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any suggestions on how you would avoid wearing out your welcome as a mentee?
As a mentee, okay. So as a mentee, well, it's twofold, because what happens is it's important for the mentor to set boundaries. And it's also also one of the things that we do, especially when we start working with the older like our college young women, we teach them how to, because none of our guys have gotten to college yet, that's the only way I say women. We teach them how to also set up an agreement with the mentor. So this is so if we're going to meet on this certain time, because sometimes what happens when you have the organic relationship, there hasn't been any boundaries set. It just kind of happens. And then you look up and you're like, oh, this is kind of getting to be a bit much. And then all it is about having a conversation and then reaffirming the boundaries and then also saying, you know what, I want you to grow and develop and go beyond. And so this is going to be part of our learning opportunity right here. So look at all those type of ways when you have to bring either correction or your challenge, turn into a learning opportunity and tell them this is a growth and love us.
Thanks so
Yeah.
much. Wow, Miss Natalie, you are a rock star.
Oh, thank
And
you.
the best pitch hitter that we could have possibly ever had.
Before, we stop talking about the Girls in Action, things and move on to some office center stuff, I want to tell everybody that, Girls in Action has their annual fundraiser on May 11th.
May 11th.
From 7:30 to 9 o'clock, and it is at the Marriott in Brooklyn Center. I will tell you, there is no better reason to get out of bed and be someplace at 7:30 in the morning than to go to the Girls in Action I Am breakfast. It is the most motivational, inspirational, empowering hour and a half you will spend in your entire year. You hear stories. You talk to the mentors, you talk to leaders from Girls in Action. Dr. Verna speaks. You talk to the girls who are in the program, and it is, Amy's been there. I think other people in the room, Lisa's gone. Yes. I've gone for the past, I think, 4 years. You've done it for 6.
Yeah.
It is time well spent. And it is always the Friday before Mother's Day, correct? That Friday morning, and if you need more information on where it is, how to get tickets, how to go, you can go to girlsinaction.org, and we can also get you some information here today. But I must say, that's all I can say. I must say.
We're all watching testimonials, yes.
The other thing, I know I'm gonna steal a little bit of Lisa's thunder, but my sister's not here, and so I think I'm forced to do this. Monday, April 2nd is a big day for office centers. After a long-awaited, hard-battled, finding the right spot, doing the right thing, office centers in Woodbury will be opening on Monday, April 2nd. So everyone, please come over to look at office centers. It's Eastside Office Center, and it is in Woodbury, Minnesota. You can have details for the address. It's off of Wooddale, correct, Will?
Wooddale.
Will's gonna be our community manager there, and we are just excited to open up an East Side location for Office Center. So Monday, 9 o'clock, East Side Office Center will open, and we are to be offering our 6th location to all of our members. And with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Lisa, and she's gonna give you the rest of the rundown.
Yeah, we're having
If anyone wants to talk to about Girls in Action or about the I Am Breakfast, Miss Natalie will be here for a while, and she'll be happy to answer questions for you. Thank you so much. I have to say, Dr. Verna has her work cut out for her.
Yeah. There you go.
Fabulous.
Thank you. Yes, and we're raising the roof this month. Lots of stuff going on, lots of events. We'd love to have y'all join us at. We are kicking off it's already next Thursday, Park Networking, and that's from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. We end up with anywhere from 20 to 40 people there, and give everybody a little opportunity to do their elevators with every month.
Thursday, every month.
And we have lots of followers at that one. Here's one of them. Woo! Juan's always there. We also are going to be on Wednesday the 18th. Juan's in the house, Juan the Cookie Man, except we are going to be, he's going to be hosting the Zooming Sales CRM at International Plaza. It's going to be right here.
Right in this room.
For an awesome training session and his new product. And it's a good one. We have the Win Luncheon on the 18th, also at our Minnetonka location. On the 19th, we're hosting the Thirsty Thursday at our Minnetonka location. And the list goes on and on and on. So check out our website. Come join us for any of our events. We love having you. And really, we really appreciate your being here today with us. Thank you
so much, Miss
So everybody, and the party's going to be, the grand opening party will be the first week in May. Stay tuned for a date at the Grand Woodbury.
But there will be a party.
Our amazing fitness leader, yes, we definitely, there will be. So Thanks for being here. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Woo-hoo!
I want